A response to objections. F.T. Marinetti, August 11, 1912. I shall not reply to the jokes and countless ironic comments, but to the skeptical questions and important objections which have been directed by the European press against my technical manifesto of futurist literature. 1. Those who have correctly understood what I meant by "to hate intelligence" have wished to discern in that expression some influence from the philosophy of Bergson. But evidently they are not aware that my first epic poem, The Conquest of the Stars, published in 1902, contained these 3 verses from Dante on the first page, serving as an epigraph. O insane labor of mortals, how defective are syllogisms, which make men fold down their wings. Paradiso, Canto 11. Or this thought from Edgar Allan Poe, who describes the poetic spirit, that faculty more sublime than any other, as we already know, which since truths of the greatest importance could not have been revealed to us except by means of the analogy whose eloquence is irrefutable to the imagination, says nothing to weak and solitary reason. Edgar Allan Poe, Colloquy of Monos and Una. Long before Bergson, these 2 creative geniuses coincided with my own temperament in distinctly affirming their hate for creeping, weak, and solitary intelligence, and according all powers to the intuitive and divining imagination. 2. When I speak of intuition and intelligence, I do not intend to speak of 2 domains that are distinct and wholly separate. Every creative mind has experienced how, during the labor of creation, the intuitive and intellectual dimensions have been fused together. It is impossible, therefore, to specify exactly the point where unconscious inspiration leaves off and lucid will begins. Sometimes the latter suddenly generates inspiration, and sometimes instead it accompanies it. After several hours of unremitting and painful work, the creative mind is suddenly freed from the weight of all obstacles, and becomes in some way the prey of a strange spontaneity of conception and execution. The hand that writes seems to separate from the body and freely leaves far behind the brain, which, having itself in some way become detached from the body and airborne, looks down from on high with terrible lucidity upon the unforeseen phrases emitted by the pen. Does this domineering brain look passively on, or does it instead direct the leaps of fantasy that excite the hand? It is impossible to know. In such moments I have observed, from a physiological standpoint, little more than a great void in the stomach. By intuition, I mean a state of mind almost entirely intuitive and unconscious. By intelligence, I mean a state of mind which is almost entirely intellective and a product of will. 3. The ideal kind of poetry which I dream of, which would be none other than the uninterrupted flow of the second terms of analogies, has nothing whatever to do with allegory. Allegory, in fact, is the succession of the second terms of several analogies that are all connected together logically. Sometimes, too, allegory can be the second term of an analogy which has been minutely developed and described. On the contrary, I aspire to render the illogical succession, no longer explanatory but intuitive, of the second terms of many different analogies, which are all disconnected and quite often opposed to one another. All purebred stylists have easily been able to affirm that the adverb is not just a word that modifies a verb, adjective, or other adverb, but also a musical ligament that unites the different sounds of a sentence or period. 5. I believe it necessary to suppress the adjective and the adverb because they are simultaneously, and also on different occasions, many-colored festoons, draperies of subtle shading, pedestals, parapets, and balustrades of the traditional period. It is precisely through the deliberate use of the adjective and the adverb that writers give that melodious and monotonous rocking effect to the sentence, its moving and interrogative rise and its calming and gradual fall, like a wave on the beach, with an emotion that is always identical. The reader's spirit must momentarily hold its breath and tremble, beg to be calmed, until at last it can breathe freely again with the wave of words fall back, with a final punctuation of gravel and a last little echo. The adjective and the adverb have a triple function, which is at once explanatory, decorative, and musical, by which it means they indicate the pace, light or heavy, slow or rapid, of the noun, which is moving in the sentence. By turns, they are the noun's cudgel, or its crutch. Their length and their weight govern the rhythm of a style which necessarily is always under guard, and they prevent it from reproducing the imagination's flight. For example, a young and beautiful woman walks rapidly over the marble floor. The traditional mind hastens to explain that the woman is young and beautiful, even though the intuition always gives simply a beautiful movement. Later, the traditional mind announces that the woman is walking rapidly, and at last it adds that she is walking on a marble floor. This purely explanatory procedure, devoid of surprise and imposed in advance of any arabesques, zigzags, or leaps of thought, no longer has any reason to exist. Whoever proceeds in just the opposite manner is almost certain not to deceive himself. Further, it is undeniable that abolishing the adjective and the adverb will give back to the noun its value as something essential, total, and typical. In addition, I have absolute faith in the feeling of horror that I experience when faced with a noun that strides forward, yet is followed by its adjective, as if by some rag or puppy. Yes, sometimes the dog is held back on the leash of an elegant adverb. Sometimes the noun has an adjective in front and an adverb in back, like the two signboards of a sandwich man, but these are two unbearable spectacles. 6. For these reasons I have recourse to the abstract aridity of mathematical signs, which are used to render quantitative relations by epitomizing a longer explanation without any fillers, and avoiding the dangerous mania for wasting time in all the crannies of the sentence, and the minute labors of the mosaic maker, the jeweler, or the shoeshine boy. 7. Words freed from punctuation will irradiate one another, magnetic waves intersecting one after another according to the ceaseless dynamism of thought. A shorter or longer blank space will tell the reader what are pauses or the brief naps of intuition. Capital letters will tell the reader which nouns synthesize a dominant analogy. 8. The destruction of the traditional period, the abolition of the adjective, the adverb, and punctuation will necessarily bring about the collapse of that well-known type of harmonious style, with the result that the futurist poet will finally use all the onomatopoeias, including the most cacophonous ones, that reproduce the countless noises of matter and motion. All these elastic intuitions with which I am supplementing my technical manifesto of futurist literature sprang to mind while I was creating my new futurist work. Here is one of the more significant fragments from it. Battle, weight plus smell. Afternoon, three-quarter flutes, groans, dog days, boom boom, alarm, gargaretch, bristling, trembling, march, tinkling, backpacks, rifles, hooves, nails, cannons, mains, wheels, cartridge boxes, Jews, pancakes, bread with olive oil, sing-song shops, whiffs, cleaning, eye, room, stink, cinnamon, mold, flux, and reflux pepper, quarrel, filth, turbine, orange trees and blossom, filigree, poverty, dice, chess, cards, jasmine, and ground nutmeg, plus arabesque mosaic, carcass, stings, tapping. Machine guns equals gravel plus undertow plus frogs, tinkling backpacks, rifles, cannons, scrap iron, atmosphere, equals lead plus lava plus 300 stenches plus 50 perfumes, pavement, mattress, debris, horse dung, carcasses, flick, flack to crowd together, camels, donkeys, boom, boom. Sewer, souk of the silversmiths, maize, silk, azure, galabi, purple, oranges, mukarabai, arches to dismount, crossroads, piazzetta, teeming. Tannery, shoeshine boy, gondolas, burnus, swarming to sift, to sweat, polychromia, envelopment, excrescences, wounds, foxholes, debris, demolition, fennel, lime, lice, swarm. Tinkling backpacks, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, hooves, nails, cannons, cartridge boxes, whippings, uniform cloth, sheep stench, no exit, left turn, Funnel, right turn, crossroads, chiaroscuro, Turkish bath, fryings, moss, jonquils, orange blossoms, nausea. Essence of rose, trap, ammonia, claws, excrements, bites, meat. Plus 100 flies, dried fruits, carobs, chickpeas, pistachios, nectarines, banana, governments, figs, boom, boom. Billy goat, couscous, moldy, aromas, saffron, tar, egg soaked, dog drenched, jasmine. Pomponax, sandal, carnation to ripen, intensity, boiling to ferment, tuberose, to rot, to scatter, rage to die, to dissolve, pieces, crumbs, dust, heroism. Ta ta ta, rifle fire, pick pack, pun pan pan. Orange wolf, fulvus, machine gun rattle, leper shelter, soars forward. Meat soaked, dirty smoothness, hatchery, tinkling, backpacks, rifles, cartridge boxes, wheels, gasoline, tobacco, incense, anise. Village ruins, burnt amber, jasmine houses, guttings, abandonment. Terracotta jar, boom boom. Violets, shadow zone, wells, donkey, ass, cadaver, collapse, sex, exhibition. Garlic bromines, anise, breeze, fish, fir tree, new. Rosemary dashes, palm, sand, cinnamon. Sun, gold, scales, plates, lead sky, silk heat. Padding, purple azure, heat, sun equals volcano plus 300 flags. Atmosphere, precision, corrida, fury, surgery lamps. Scalpel race, sparkle, sheets, desert, clinic, times 20,000 arms, 20,000 feet, 10,000 eyes, gun sights, scintillation, weight, operation. Sands, ship ovens, Italians, Arabs, 4,000 meters, battalions, heats, orders, pistons, swept mouths, ovens. By God, forward march, oil, ta ta ta, ammonia, greater than apoponix, violets, dung, roses, sands, dazzle of mirrors, everything to walk, arithmetic, footprints, to obey, irony, enthusiasm. Buzzing to sow, dunes, pillows, zigzags to mend. Feet, heap, screeching sand, pointlessness, machine guns, equals gravel plus undertow plus frogs. Scouting parties, 200 meters loaded to the brim. Forward march, arteries, swelling, heat, fermentation, hair, armpits, drums, tawniness, blondness, breaths, plus backpack, 18 kilos, forethought, equals Sing Sing, scrap iron, money box, softness. Three shutters, orders, rocks, anger, enemy, magnet, lightness, glory. Heroism, scouting parties, 100-meter machine gun, rifle, fire, eruption, violence, brass. Pim pum, pack pack, tim tum. Machine guns, tatarata tata tata. Scouting parties, 20 meters battalions, ants, cavalry, frogs, street puddles, general islet, courier, little mare, sands, revolutions, howitzers. Platforms, clouds, gridirons, rifles, martyrs, shrapnel, halos. Multiplication, addition, division, howitzer, subtraction, grenade, erasure. To drip, to drain, landslide, roadblock, heap. Scouting parties. 3 meters mix up, to and fro. Scouting parties, 3 meters mix up, to and fro. To stick, unstick, wound, fire, to uproot, yards, heap, deposits, flames, panic, blinding, to smash, to enter, to exit, to run. Sugars, lives, rockets, hearts, gluttonies, bayonets, forks, to bite, to chop, to stink, to dance, to leap, anger, dogs, explosion, howitzers, gymnasts. Flashes, trapeze, explosions, rose, joy, stomachs, watering cans, heads, footballs, scattering. Cannons, 149 elephant, artillery, men, mahouts, Isa, O, anger, levies, slowness, heaviness, center, load. Infantry, method, monotony, trainers, distance, grand prize, art. X, light, pang, boom, boom. Spring, infinite sea, equals laces, emeralds, freshness, elasticity, abandonment, softness. Dreadnought, steel, concision, order, combat, flag. Field, skies, white hot blood, equals Italy, force, Italian pride, brothers, wives, mother, insomnia, newsboys, scream, glory, domination, coffee, war stories. Towers, cannons, virility, muzzles, erection, rangefinder, ecstasy, boom, boom. 3 seconds, boom, boom. Wave, smile, laughter, chick, chack, plaff, glue, 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 play, hide and seek, crystals, virgins, flesh, jewels, pearls, iodine, salts, bromides, skirts, gas, liqueurs, bubbles, 3 seconds. Boom, boom. Officer, whiteness, rangefinder, cross, fire, ring, ring, megaphone. Height 4,000 meters, left face, stop, everybody, halt, troops, dismissed. 7 degrees, erection, splendor, pumping, piercing, immensity. Blue woman, deflowering. Doggedness, hallways, scream, labyrinth, mattresses, sobs, smashing down. Desert, bed, precision, rangefinder, monoplane, gallery, applause. Monoplane equals balcony rose, wheel drum, buzzing fly. Greater than defeat Arab, ox, bloodiness, slaughter, wounds, refuge, oasis, humidity, fan, coolness. Siesta, stripes, germination, effort, dilation, vegetal. I'll be more green tomorrow. Let's stop, soak, save this drop of water. You have to left yourselves 3 centimeters to overcome 20 grams of sand and 3,000 grams of shadows. Milky Way coconut tree, stars, coconuts, milk to gush, juice, pleasure.